All right, let's get into this interview here.
Yeah, man.
So the theme will be assembling a team, because it's like an anthology, right?
Yeah.
I'll ask you, I don't know, I'll try and come up with 2 questions about that, and then we'll get into what the specifics of the Kickstarter are and stuff like that. Or maybe I'll ask you one. How did you get the property? And then the other one will be like, how did you assemble your team of creators?
Yeah.
And then we can just talk about the specifics of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
Hey guys, welcome to Inside Comics. Really quick, if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe and tell a friend about it. Today my guest is Andy Belalanger. Animal, thanks for being on the show.
What's up, George? How you doing?
I'm great, dude. And you've got another Kickstarter. The hits keep on coming from Lethal Comics. We got Psycho Goreman on Kickstarter now.
Lethal Comics basically is now like a little bit of it's a company, right? We're registered and we have like business numbers and bank accounts and things, and we're actually a company. And when we started this, I really wanted to get into doing anthology stuff. And it's actually been a dream of mine to do a heavy metal style publication probably for 10 years. And it started like years ago. I went to Heroes Con in North Carolina. Have you been to that one before?
I haven't. I've heard.
Oh, it's a great con. It's all comic centric, and it's mainstream. It's indie comics. It's a whole bunch of basically anything comics. So you don't have actors, and you don't have video games, and you don't have that stuff. It's just comics, and pretty much almost all the pro artists go. So it's basically like everyone in the industry who makes comics, and it's fantastic. They have a thing there called Indie Island, or I think it's called Indie Island, and it's basically just sort of indie creators that are really hot and would come to the con. And about 8 years ago, I went to my first Heroes, and I was sitting next to a guy named Ben Mara, who is an amazing indie comic creator. And we were sitting next to each other, and he kind of like took me around, and that's the first time I met Jim Rugg and Ed Piskor and Alexis Zirid and Aaron Connolly and Eric Bonham and a bunch of guys that are actually like in this magazine. And at that show, I realized like, these are the artists that I love. This is the style I love. Like, if you work at Marvel DC, you have to have a house style to an extent, right? That they can sell with the superheroes. But when I grew up, I really liked EC horror comics and creepy and eerie and all those kind of like publications, monster publications. So I just saw this big group of artists that I wish had been in like their own giant company like Marvel. So right from then on, I really wanted to work with these guys and see like some sort of thing where they were all in one place. And then 5 years ago, when I was in Florida with Eric Bonham, who's in the magazine, he goes by Skullbash Hero on Instagram. We were talking about doing a heavy metal style magazine with all these kind of guys like Ben Mara and Alexis Zirit and Aaron Connolly and a lot of the people that are in this magazine. So, cut to COVID, when I started Mother Trucker and started building Lethal Comics, I really like revisited that idea. And a friend of mine who, is a director for Hobo with a Shotgun and Dark Side of the Ring mentioned that I'd probably freak out about Psycho Goreman, this movie. I love The Void, another film by Steven Kostanski. So when I saw this movie, I freaked out and was like, okay, I think this idea over here and this movie, I somehow need to bring together and make a Kickstarter and do this publication that I've wanted to do for like 5 to 10 years. And that's what this is. It's basically the guy like me and Carl and Carrie and our pals, and along with the pals that I was talking about from those times, sort of like getting together and making this sort of like crazy Psycho Goreman, heavy metal magazine, sort of like off the wall of comic publication. And it's wild. Like it's super crazy.
That's awesome. You know, I've always wanted to work on like a bit of an anthology project too, because it's a great opportunity to work with the creators that you haven't worked with before, and kind of find out what that relationship is in a smaller kind of sampling size, right? It's, you know,
Yeah,
usually the portions are, you know, 5, 6 pages, 8 pages.
manageable,
Yeah, manageable.
manageable for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, and anthologies are fun too, because you get like a lot of, you know, short stories, so they're like quick and sweet, and you know, it can be a real page turner getting one story after another instead of just a long format story. It's, I don't know, I love anthologies. This project looks really cool. I like Psycho Goreman. One thing that's kind of interesting was I was actually in a writers group. We get together on like the 13th of each month, and we do like kind of like a campfire kind of storytelling around. I mean, and Psycho Goreman actually came up, and that's where I first heard about it. Was a bunch of comic book writers talking about, you got to see this movie. It's just like batshit crazy. And
yeah,
so, yeah, I'm super excited that that there's a comic book coming out about it.
yeah. A lot of the writers on the short stories are guys that worked on the film. So Steven Kostanski is writing mine. We kind of like worked on it together, jammed on the story together. But Steven also came up with the overarching idea for the whole magazine. So it's all the Galactic Council's survival stories of Psycho Goreman, and then there's like a Tales from the Crypt style story that's in between them. That's written by a guy named Andy Appel, who is the cameraman on Psycho Goreman and Dark Side of the Ring. So that guy's doing, and Aaron Connolly's doing the art on that one. So it was kind of cool, like working with him, and Peter Kapulski, the producer of the film, is working with Carrie on his story. So a lot of us are working with actual guys that were in the film. So Greg, the dad from the film, is a guy named Adam Brooks. He's an amazing illustrator. He's like a crazy amazing artist. So we got him doing, he did a portrait of Psycho Goreman. So we're doing like a cereal box style, like Halloween mask that you get with every magazine that he painted. And he's writing the story that J-Bone is illustrating. I don't know if you know J-Bone from Toronto. He was Darwin Cook's inker, and he did an Image series and did some Wonder Woman. He's like an amazing artist and one of my peers since I started when I was 25. He's working with Adam on that one. Which is super cool. And then the guy who's the voice of Tube Man, you know, like the brain in the jar. Yeah, he's doing one with Alexis Zirret. That's going to be crazy. So it's a lot of guys from the film actually doing the writing. And then I pair them with like a veteran sort of like comic artist who can, you know, work with that. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see all the stuff that's happening. And then a few of our other friends came in, and a lot of cartoonists that write and draw are doing stuff. So yeah, it's super cool. Like we wouldn't want to get a writer for Ben Mara. His stuff is too crazy as it is. So we kind of wanted to just like leave him to do his thing.
And do you have like different covers on this anthology project?
Yeah, we have one by Kyle Holtz, who's been around, you know, kind of since the 90s doing amazing comic stuff. But I was seeing his new stuff on Venom, and I was like, this guy's work is so perfect for Psycho Goreman. Like, I think Kyle Holtz is the artist I want to be, but like, but he's like way better at it. So it's like, I messaged him and got him on board, and yeah, he's involved. And then one of my favorite artists of all time that I first saw his work in San Diego Comic-Con, probably when I was like, you know, 26 or 27, is an artist named Skinner. And Skinner does animation and films and paintings and toys, and he does everything. Skinner does our cover B, and it's like a, not B, but it's like the other cover that comes with it, and it's like all glow in the dark, trippy, just bananas looking. Like Skinner's like my favorite artist. We became friends over the last little while. He had a Kickstarter called Skin Crawl Magazine that I helped him a little bit with his Kickstarter, and he like crushed it. It was like really, really good. So yeah, I'm really happy to have him on board. He's one of my favorite artists ever. And then I did the third one, the Destroyer cover, and we may have more coming.
In the description of this video, I've put a link to the Kickstarter, and also, your social media and stuff like that too. So guys, everyone out there, go out and check out Psycho Goreman and Andy Bellinger. Andy, thanks so much for being on
thank you,
Inside
George.
Comics, dude.
Anytime, man. You're the best.
Peace.
See you later.